Hi guys, and welcome to part 9 of our R2-D2 tutorial series here in Blender. So by the end of the previous tutorial, we're pretty much done with our body. We've got all the panel lines in, we've got this hinge here for the arm socket, we've added in the flat edge at the bottom there, and all of our details are in place. So I'm going to start now actually on the dome, and we're going to make the panel lines, but we're going to do it in a slightly different way. In this tutorial series, I want to show you some different ways of achieving similar results by using different methods and tools. So we're going to create the panel lines on the top here without actually doing any mesh deformation at all. Everything will be done with the modifier stack. So we're going to go over into edit mode, and let's go to a front view. What we're going to do to start with, without deforming the mesh, we're just going to mark in some areas which are going to be panel lines. So we've also got our reference images here, we can see. So we've got this small square here, which goes below the eye area. So we're going to add this in, and then we've got another panel line to the right side there. So let's start with those two panel lines at the front here. So we're going to go into edge select, and I'm going to select the edges which are going to make up this panel. So we just want to select the edges which most closely match here to our panel lines, and then these ones here. So I'm going to come around this edge. Now once we've selected the edges that we wish to be our panel lines, we're just going to go down here into Mesh, Edges, and Mark Sharp. Now we want some more panel lines over here, so let's select these edges. We'll make this too wide. And again, Mesh, Edges, and Mark Sharp. Now following along the same line over here, I'll grab these edges. I'm going to make this 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. Get that edge here. Some of these are a little tricky to get hold of. We can hide that. Okay, that helps. And again, Mesh, Edges, Mark Sharp. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of these panels on the right side there. So we'll add those in. So each set is 4 wide. So we'll grab here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we come down. And then we'll do the same again. 2, 3, and 4, and down the edges here. Now it looks like they're not evenly spaced, but that's just due to the deformation caused by the curved surface that we're working on here. And by using this method that we're going to create these, just mark these edges sharp again. By using this method that we're going to use, it's actually going to make things a lot easier. Because of the shape of this isn't curved in one dimension like our body is, or it's just curved around. This is curved around and away from us as well. So doing extrusion on these and whatnot would be a little bit tricky. So this method is going to make things easier for us. So to the left of this then we have one large panel, which you can see would actually be this one here. We'll put in one panel, two panel, and one large one. So this will be our large panel over here. Let's check back with a reference image. We'll mark this one up as well. And then we want one that runs around here, and the one that runs around there is going to be a little bit longer than the other panels, so probably about this far. And it's also a notch higher than the others as well. Okay, so we left this gap here, which is going to be used for this circular eye socket part which sticks out. So that should do us for the front for now, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, so now we're done with this, we can make sure all of those edges are marked sharp. So mesh, edges, mark sharp. We can come out of edit mode, back into object mode. And that's all we're going to do as regards to editing the mesh. So there's no deformation, we're just marking those sharp edges. Now come over to our modifier stack. We're going to add an edge split and remove the edge angle, just use the sharp edges. You can see now we've got the faint hint of an outline of those panels. Next thing we're going to add will be a solidify modifier. And now we've got that, you can see we've got those panel edges, but it's a little bit messy. We're going to turn on auto smooth and we're going to knock this down to 30-degree angle. And then we're going to add one more modifier, which will be the bevel modifier. With this bevel modifier, the limit method we're going to change to angle, and that will make sure that we keep everything smooth. You see, if there's none, we end up with these bevels all over and it doesn't look good. So angle, and you can choose your limit angle there. We can just leave it default at 30, and the width method we'll go to width. So there we now have our panels done. So that's quite quick, as you can see. And if you want to change a panel, it's just a matter of going into edit mode, selecting the new edges that you want, mesh, edges, mark sharp, and there you go, you'll have a panel edge there. If you want to remove that, it's as simple as going into edit mode, selecting those edges, mesh, edges, and clear sharp, and you'll go back to how you were before. So that is a very quick and easy method for making our panel lines on our dome-shaped head here of R2-D2. So the next part is just going to be a matter then of coloring these. So again, we'll go in and select the faces and we'll add some color to them. So back over into edit mode, face select, hit B so I can have box select or select all those. Colors, material, we will add a new slot, choose our blue material, go to assign. It's easy as that. Box select again, grab all of these, blue material and assign, box select, And the same then over here. Okay, and now we're done with that. Back out into object mode, and there we have now our edges and the color. If we want to make things a little bit wider, we can always increase the number of segments. That will help us with our panel lines. We can change the material slot that's being used. Changing to offset, you'll see here, makes the panels a little bit more pronounced than with width. So if we go to offset mode, you can edit about how much gap we get in the panel by adjusting the offset there. So that is a quick and easy way of creating our panels. So I'm going to continue doing the other panels in a similar way. It's just a matter of going into edit mode. Now I'm going to go to the top view because R2-D2 has a shape here at the top. You'll see we've got the circular area and then this. So we're going to do the circular part first. Edge select. We can select this quickly by Shift and Alt. Mesh, edges, mark sharp. There we go. It's just a matter then of colouring that. Face select, grab the box. Once we've selected all of these, again we're going to add a blue color to it. Materials, blue, assign, back out into object mode. There we go. So you can just continue following the reference image that we have to do the rest of this. So this one's a little bit tricky. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. So the best way to do it will be to divide vertically first of all. That's the way I found of doing this. So we go to a top view. Get into edit mode. Edge select. So first of all, we're going to select a ring of edges to make our bottom part. So probably here. And then we're going to want a top edge as well. So let's say this one. Now we kind of got a dividing line running down the middle here. And you're going to want to hold down Shift and go say 1 segment to the side and 1 segment to the other side. So we're kind of working up the middle there of our box. You want it to be as centered as you can. If you really want to, you can count all of the rings that are around here and work it out mathematically how many you need to select, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it as best as I can. So that's your center there. You probably want to go around this area. And then we just select back as far as our other line. And I'll do the same here. Then you're going to want to go over to the opposite side and basically in the same place make the same gap. So we'll create this segment here by coming around about this far. And then we leave another 4 gap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll start again. You want to kind of line this up. So how many have we use here? We use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we count 18 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we draw a line up again. And again we leave a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw another line. Then we're going to come up here because we're going to want 2 more segments on this side. So these 2 segments are probably going to run around this area. Maybe a little bit lower actually. And also the same up here. We want to get this gap of 4 so like I said, if you count everything and figure it out mathematically, you can make this very precise, but just for speed purposes I'm just estimating approximately where these lines would be. Okay, and then we want a gap of 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, and another line here. Then we're going to divide this into 2. So probably drawing in around here. Here. So like I say, everything isn't precisely evenly done. If you want to make these a little bit bigger, actually I'm going to adjust this . Okay, so gap of 4, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be here. Similar to the side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And put in another row here. Alright, I'm happy with this. Now we just have to deselect these parts here that are in the gaps. And up here also. Okay, once we're all done with that, it's a matter of just mark sharp again. Back into object mode, and there's our panels again for the top area of R2-D2. Now it's just they need shading in blue, exactly the same way as before. Just use our box select. Select these faces. And hit C for circle select. Kind of makes selecting these a little bit faster. Just then need to go and deselect the ones that have just gone over the edge. So the circle select tool is useful for selecting a bunch of faces around a curved object like this. It's obviously a lot quicker than manually going through and selecting each one of these faces. Now just deselect these ones that have gone over the edges. And I'll select the ones that we missed. Okay, once we've got all those, select the material, assign, and there we go. Now you may want to recess those a little bit or raise them out, so it's just a matter then of going into edit mode, and you can select those faces, hit S to scale, and you could actually bring those faces out a little bit if you wanted. Add a bit more feature there to R2-D2, give it a little bit more three-dimensional look to it. Check out the reference images, it's all looking about right. Now, final thing I'm going to make is this area here, and then we're done for this tutorial. So go back to a front view. Go to material, edit mode. Okay, so it's going to be this kind of square area here. We're going to grab the faces around here. Go to B for box select. Okay, once we've got all those faces there, we'll color them blue. E to extrude. Oops, we didn't assign it. Yeah. Come to a solid color. E to extrude will extrude out a bit. And this is kind of sloped backwards. So the bottom edge needs to come out more than the top edge. So what we can do for that is hit R to rotate on the x-axis. I'll just rotate it a little bit. And you see there's this slot, little indentation there. We can make those now by getting our loop cuts. We'll grab the right faces here. So that'll be this face, say this many. And let's display our axis again, and we'll go to the normal, and then we can extrude this in. Let's just move it in. We'll go for extrude. Extrude that inwards, and then we can get rid of these faces. Let's see here. I'll do this. Extrude in and scale down a little bit. Get I to indent small amount, 0.0003, and then we'll drag that in. Let's just delete his faces. Doing this. Okay, and then we're going to create a loop cut around here. We'll remove this face. and then these faces here. It's because we have our solidify modifier applied to make those channels. We've got this thickness to the object that we're making our panel lines earlier. And now we're going to vertex select. We'll grab these vertices, we should be able to make a face. Yeah. Grab those vertices. We can make a face. We should be able to grab these vertices also and make a face. And if we get our loop cuts, the knife tool, should be able to drag those down, line it up over here. Make another knife cut here. I'm going to merge these. Merge at the last. Okay. And then the last one. I'm going to grab this, and again we'll merge at the last. Okay, so there's our kind of cutout area. What we can do then is merge these to get rid of the triangular faces. There we go. Okay, we'll make all of this blue. Assign the blue material, and there we go. So So that's how we can add in details to the top of R2-D2 there and create those panel lines without doing any actual mesh deformation. Very easy to add them in, very easy to create more. Just select the edges that you want, mark them sharp, and you'll end up with your panel lines. So now it's just a matter of us continuing to add in these other details. Some of these parts are going to be modeled separately as we did before. Other areas will not be. So you just need to go around and finish placing in all of your panel lines using the same method that we just did. And that's it. So in the next tutorial, we're going to start working on the bottom part here. As you can see, at the moment it's kind of hollow. So we need to add the bottom area onto R2-D2 before we can move on to the arms. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you found this tutorial useful, and I'll see you next time.